Hi, hello. Welcome to this space, my space, Random Thoughts with Ifeoluwa, where I'll be sharing my random thoughts because I don't want to keep small to myself. And I believe someone can learn a thing or two, or just enjoy the gist. I hope you do enjoy every episode, shall. Meanwhile, don't forget to share with someone. Thank you. Hi, hello. Welcome back again to this space. It's so good to be talking to you guys again. And you already know now, when I'm talking to you, it's because I have a random thought. I have something I'm thinking about or I've thought about that I would like to share with you. I'm recording this on the 25th of April, 2023. Okay, so today I want to talk about an aspect of excellence. I've been thinking about an aspect of excellence, and that's what I want to talk about today. Growing up, there was this statement that I heard a lot when people are about to sing in church. Most times, funny enough, I don't hear it when people want to sing outside the church. Wow, I didn't even think of that until now. We'll relate that later. I hope I don't forget, but we'll relate that later. Anyway, so I hear this a lot in church, and I'm sure that you already know what I'm about to say, or some of you can already guess what I'm about to say. When people are about singing, you hear something like, "Don't listen to my voice, just listen to the words of the song." And then I didn't think much about it. The only thing that came to my mind then was that whenever I heard something like that, then I would just prepare my mind to hearing something not so nice melodiously. I hope you get. Anyway, and I'm here just thinking about how I believe God wants us to do things excellently. I know I have had similar discussions with quite a number of friends and quite a number of people, and then we just talk about these things and how God genuinely wants us to do things well, not carelessly. As I was about recording this, it occurred to me that the way we carry God will tell the weight of what we are bringing to Him. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. That when you believe and when you know that God deserves the best, you would want to give Him the best. When you know that He deserves the most beautiful of all things because He has given it to us, then you would know inside of you, so much so that even when you try and it's not exactly looking like it yet, or it's not looking perfect yet, God honors your heart, not just because you're carelessly doing it. Now, this is not me trying to despise that statement too. As we grow, we know better. So this is not me trying to despise that statement, but we'll come back to it. I want to read from Exodus 12 verse 5. Exodus 12 verse 5. Because before, I just used to think about these things and I just thought about it like, God deserves better now. We should give Him better than this. But then reading through the Bible, I'm understanding better that indeed my thoughts, this thing I'm thinking about is legit. God really deserves the best of all things. Exodus 12:5 says that this is God giving instructions to His people through Moses. The animal you select for the sacrifice must be a 1-year-old male, either a sheep or a goat, with no defects. The NLT version calls it defects. The KJV version says an animal without blemish. Now, dictionary meaning of unblemished is something that is not damaged, something that is like everything is set. Now, if for sacrifices, we cannot just pick any, then in those days, they cannot just pick any random animal to sacrifice. They are going to kill it after all. But they had to look for animals without blemished. It tells a lot. It tells a lot that indeed. Remember Cain and Abel? How Abel brought the best. It tells a lot that we are to always do things excellently and give God our best at every point in time. Again, reading through Exodus 25, we're seeing how God was giving instructions about offering for the tabernacle. I wouldn't be able to read because it's going to be a long read. How God gave them plans for the Ark of Covenant. How God gave them plans for table. God gave them plans for lampstand. In chapter 26, he gave them plans for the tabernacle. He gave them plans just for the tabernacle in chapter 26. In chapter 27, he gave them plans for altar of burnt offering. He gave them plans for courtyard. He gave them plans for light for the tabernacle. He gave them plans for light. God gave them plans for clothing for the priest. Hey, see, don't let me go into this so that I won't digress. But God gave instruction up to what the priest would wear. Why? Have we thought about it? Before I used to think that all these passages, Exodus, Leviticus, some part of Numbers, I used to think they were just boring. But recently, I started to think about it, that for them to be recorded, there'll be reasons. And I believe this is one of the reasons, to let us see that we don't just do things anyhow for God, because it is God. There's this popular saying, who no like better thing, that we say to ourselves. So if as man we can tell ourselves who no like better thing, how much more God? Now, after instruction for clothing for the priest, he gave them designs for ephod. He gave them designs for the chest piece. These are part of the clothing for the priest. He gave them additional clothing for the priest. He was giving them all of this instruction. In chapter 29, he gave them more instructions as to how they should do things. In chapter 30, it was how they would plans for incense, plans for wash basin, the oil, the incense. Now, in chapter 31, where I would read about 3 or 4 verses to us, I want you to pay attention. Let me take it from verse 1, chapter 31. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Look, I have specifically chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, giving him great wisdom, ability, and expertise in all kind of crafts." Did you hear that? Now, all of the instructions I just listed from chapter 25 up to chapter 30, this is now chapter 31, where God was now telling them that he has chosen somebody for this job. Someone who had great wisdom, ability, and he was an expert in all kind of craft. Verse 4 says, he is a master craftsman, expert in working with gold, silver, and bronze. He is skilled in engraving and mounting gemstones, and in carving wood. He is a master at every craft. Verse 6 says, and I have personally appointed Holiab of the tribe of Dan to be his assistant. Moreover, I have given special skill to all the gifted craftsmen, so that they can make all the things I have commanded you to make. Then he listed all of the things I just mentioned earlier. he listed those things again? Why was God particular about who should carry out the instructions that he had given? Why was God particular about the people who would walk? Why was God interested about the person? Why couldn't they just pick anybody? Did you see the CV of Bezalel? Did you hear his CV, rather? Did you hear his CV? Was a master craftsman. I don't know, this just reminded me that I need to grow in my skill. Whatever it is that you are doing, whatever your hand findeth to do, do with diligence, with all diligence. With all diligence. God was not going to joke with his work, and he was not going to just leave it in anybody's hands. You know, when Solomon was to build the temple too, in 2 Chronicles chapter 2, from verse 5, it was saying that this must be a magnificent temple because our God is greater than all other gods. Can you remember what I said in the beginning? When I was saying that the way you carry God, the way you see God, your knowledge of God will tell how you do things and how you want to do things for him. It says because our God is greater than all other gods. But who can really build him a worthy home? Not even the highest heavens can contain him. Let me rush to verse 7. It says, so send me a master craftsman who can work with gold, silver, bronze, and iron, as well as with purple, scarlet, and blue cloth. He must be a skilled engraver who can work with the craftsmen of Judah and Jerusalem, who were selected by my father David. Solomon was writing a letter to a particular king to send him some things, and that was why he mentioned this. Why didn't Solomon just say, send me a craftsman who can work with these things? He mentioned, send me a master craftsman, someone who is skillful at what he does, someone who would give the best, someone who would produce the best, because they were doing something for God. They were doing something for God. See, in 1 Samuel 16, we'll see that when Saul was tormented by an evil spirit, someone skillful in harp playing or in the instrument was needed, and David was recommended. If David wasn't excellent at playing his instruments, I just threw a low-key shade at myself, but okay. If David wasn't excellent at playing his instrument, he wouldn't have been referred. His name wouldn't come up. His name wouldn't come up. You know me talking about this now, I'm saying that this goes even beyond our church activities. We should see this also in our various places of work or even our businesses, whatever it is that we are doing. As God's own, as God's children, we should do everything that we do excellently. We should strive to always be the best and stand out. You know, even in 1 Chronicles 25, where we had quite a number of records about musicians, in 25, you would see that quite a couple of names, Asaph, were mentioned, and about 288 skillful musicians mentioned. The Bible described them as skillful musicians. It means that they didn't just select random people and then, oh yeah, you people, because you're Levites, just be here and be singing. No. They needed the best of the resources. The best. Okay, so somebody might be saying, you've been talking about the Old Testament since. I will just pick one example from the New Testament. Jesus. I cannot find anywhere where it was recorded that Jesus did anything lackadaisically. I cannot find anywhere where it was recorded that Jesus did things just like that. He was excellent. And we are to be like our Father. We are to be like our Father. So let me go back. Will we not say it's unfair to say, don't listen to my voice? Just listen to the words of the song. You know, Pastor Nathaniel Bassey said something, well, I don't know when it was, but he said something one time that some people don't have the patience to listen to just anyhow stuff. But because you are bringing what you have, the message you have in the vehicle of excellence, they would sit to hear, to listen to what you have. And from there, you make impact in people's life. But if you're just presenting it anyhow, you've already lost their attention. You don't have their attention anymore. So don't listen to my voice. Just listen to the words of the song. Like I told you, this is not to despise that statement. No. Because I understand that some people say it genuinely from a good place. But here is what I have to say about that. If you cannot sing, you can carry your message through other means. You can write excellently. If you know you can speak excellently, you can speak excellently. If you know you can act excellently, do it. If it is choreographing, do it. Whatever means. Identify your excellent means of doing things. Identify how best you can present a sacrifice to God. Even to your life. It means that we need to live our life excellently. The devil is working overtime. I usually tell people around me this, that the devil is hard working. The devil is working overtime. So he's not doing things carelessly. How much more we, God's representatives, were to do our things excellently, giving our best at all times. So you want to have an event, do it excellently. You want to speak somewhere, do it excellently. If it requires that you learn how to do things, if it requires that you bring in resources, human resources, if it requires whatever it takes. David said, I will not give God what costs me nothing. I will not give God what costs me nothing. So this is just me randomly thinking about how going forward I want to do things excellently. And how I desire that everyone will do things excellently. For God, for themselves, for people around them, for their businesses, their careers, whatever it is, that we shine well in whatever we do. All right. That was my thought. That was what I was thinking about. Just how to start learning how to do things excellently for God. How to start learning how to do things the best way that I can. So much so that even when I define something as best now, and tomorrow it can the best definition the best now as a new definition rather, I can upgrade to that, and I keep upgrading and upgrading. I hope this encourages you to start doing things the best way. First for God, yourself, people around you, your business and everything. God bless you.